Good afternoon. It's Thursday afternoon in Sydney, and it's time for Thursday Beers with Mark and Stuart. I'm Stuart Roberts.
I'm Mark Ennis.
And we started Pitt Street Research about 9 months ago to bring a whole bunch of issuer-sponsored equity research focused mainly on small and mid-cap companies for the benefit of readers like you out there. Mark, we're doing this on Thursday because you're on the plane Friday. Why is that?
Yeah, back to Tel Aviv.
Right.
So we've been there a couple of times now.
Yep.
So we're joining the ASX delegation
Yes.
with the ASX chairman.
Yes.
We'll be meeting, I think, about 30 companies,
Right.
including we'll be joining the ASX event on Tuesday.
Yes.
So yeah, it should be a good trip. There's a lot of listed companies already on the ASX, and there's a whole bunch of companies looking to list on the ASX.
Right.
And so hopefully we get first dibs on providing research on
Yes.
those.
So 20 ASX listed companies from Israel, and sounds like there's more where that came from.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So, we were there in December
Yes.
For the last time. We met with about 25 sort of pre-IPO companies looking to list, some very early stage, some a bit sort of riper.
Yes.
But a lot of interesting stuff happening in Israel.
Yes. Well, I'm staying right here to enjoy what a wonderful country we're still living in, thanks to that marvelous, miraculous election result on Saturday. Your health, sir.
Congratulations! I know you're already given up. You were waiting to be deported by Labour officials?
Absolutely. I had I believe the polls, and if there's one thing true about modern politics anywhere in the world, you don't believe the polls. But, let's not talk about the politics. Let's talk about the economics. Morningstar, a couple of days ago, brought out a report, and they've headlined that the Morningstar Time Machines revisits Australia's last recession. Now, I think with a market-friendly government promising tax cuts and a balanced budget, it's going to be a little difficult to get a recession.
It's less likely, especially
Right.
with two interest rate cuts in the works now.
Right.
With the government staying basically in place.
Yes.
So it's not likely, but I thought it was really interesting, the report.
Right.
Because it sort of touches on past recessions in Australia and what you should have bought back then.
So the folks at Morningstar are telling us don't buy Wesfarmers in this environment. That they're warning, do not think that hardware focused on home hardware,
Bunnings, etc.
Bunnings is going to protect you in an environment where house prices are down and people are battening down the hatches. If you want defensives, it looks like stick with the true retailing defensives, such as your Woolworths and Coles, for example.
Yeah, even though I think in the current environment with sort of the hard discounters
Right.
grabbing a piece of the action.
Yes.
My guess is that traditional supermarkets will have a tougher time than previous recessions.
Right.
Because there's just a lot more choice at the lower end of the market.
Right. Now, Morningstar themselves are only giving us a 25% chances of success, but we've seen crazier things happen in the world. That something as robust as the Australian economy could come to an end.
Yeah.
What's your take on what the folks at Morningstar had to say about that?
Well, look, it's a small chance. Well, small 25% chance. Other experts are saying sort of the same thing, basically.
Right.
But you never know what's going to happen.
Sure.
Look at Trump. Look at the Aussie elections last week.
Yes.
Look at the Brexit vote.
Right.
All sorts of stuff can happen, especially in the context of the U.S.-China trade dispute.
Right.
All sorts of stuff can happen. So it can go one way or the other way. It's hard to predict, and on the back of that, it's hard to predict what's going to happen in Australia. On top of that, by the way, if you exclude migration to Australia,
Right.
I think there's been a per capita recession a bunch of times already.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, Australia's proven to be the lucky country once again, like it was in the 60s. Basically, being able to import the folks it needs to be able to keep growing. Now, there's a limit. There's a limit to what that capacity is, but I suspect we haven't reached that yet. Look, I'm bullish on the Australian economy. We're well over 100 quarters of growth, and I don't see anything on the horizon bringing that to a stop. But if the lessons of previous recessions are any guide, they tend to come out of nowhere and be caused by stuff that you wouldn't expect in advance.
So it was an interesting read. On the point of research, we published a few reports this week as well.
Yes. So on our website, we've got reports on Invion. Invion are a hot new player in the field of cancer therapy, where the idea is that you send in photodynamic molecules and then light those photodynamic molecules up at the site of a tumor.
I like the sound of that. Light it up.
Also, MyPhysic. MyPhysic, we think, has potentially cracked the puzzle on the ideal app for measuring body size and weight, which obviously has a range of applications, easily scalable in fields like health and wellness, in the fitness sector. potentially in insurance type applications.
So have a look at that. It's on our website as well. We also did an interview with the CEO of Sincera, a chip company. Have a look at that. It's fascinating, the stuff that they're doing. So it's in the MEM space, really tiny devices manufactured using semiconductor manufacturing processes. There's an interview on the website. Have a look at that. And on the subject of chips, computer chips.
Yes.
We got those
We've
right here.
got some chips here. Yeah.
So,
but we had our semiconductor conference obviously last week.
Slightly different chips, but semiconductor conference. We spoke about that last time around.
Right.
Was I think a big success.
Right.
So the folks at Baker McKenzie hosted us there.
Thank you, Bakers. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. We had 6 companies plus Michelle Simmons. We'll put all the presentations that were held there on the website, on our website. So have a look at that.
You came here 4 or 5 years ago, and your conviction was that we had the potential to create a pretty supportive capital market for the kinds of sophisticated technology companies you'd been used to working with in Europe.
We had 2 at a time, 2 listed.
Right.
We're now at 9.
Right.
And a few brokers are working hard to get more of these companies on the board.
Right.
Well, we're going to California in a month's time to meet with one of these companies specifically. But I think Semicon West is on at that moment as well, so we'll drop by there and we'll meet up with a few of our clients. So it should be interesting. We'll provide you with all the feedback from that.
So for any US investors watching it, they can catch up with you if they're going to be in California for Silicon West.
Semicon West.
Semicon West, I should say.
So that's early July.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. Now, on the subject of technology, Technology One was a company we spoke about a few months ago in this forum as an example of how our market is good at valuing tech companies. What's happened there?
Well, have a look at episode 6 of Friday Beers. This was back in, I think, March or February, I don't know. It's all on the website again. So have a look at episode 6. We talked about companies like Wisetack, Appen, Altium being considered or perceived to be very expensive, but when you relate their valuation to EBITDA growth, turned out they were not that expensive actually, because it's sort of at parity. So EV/EBITDA to EBITDA growth. But the one company that stood out that was actually expensive, not judging by EV/EBITDA because it was the cheapest one in the peer group, but relating that to their EBITDA growth, it was actually the most expensive one. So this week they reported slightly disappointing numbers. That is to say, in terms of guidance, future growth. And stock got belted down, I think 15% in just 2 days. So have a look at episode 6 of Friday Beers, where we talk about that section within technology.
Let's turn to the beer we've got today.
Yeah.
So this is a Balter IPA. Now, I knew this was a good beer because it's a Queensland beer, and we're drinking a Queensland beer in honour of the folks who returned the Morrison government last Saturday, thanks to a big swing up there. You can get this one at my local watering hole down in Turramurra in Sydney's Upper North Shore, and that's where I first encountered it. This beer is outstanding. Now, as you know, I like really hopped up beers where the IBU is pretty high. This one's at 72, so it's probably about the strongest in terms of the.
What does IBU stand for?
International bittering units. So it's the standardized way you measure the amount of hops sitting inside a beer in terms of the bitterness quality.
This is from Currumbin, Queensland.
Currumbin
where I had my first surfing lesson.
Right, okay, yeah, in
I'll never forget that.
southeastern Queensland. So
where I found out I suck at it.
But motivated you to come to Australia 10 years later, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So 6.8% on the alcohol reading and pretty high bittering. And from a part of Australia you wouldn't necessarily think is dominated by hipsters or the sort of people who enjoy craft beer. Now, there's an interview on the Balter website with the head brewer of this brewery, Scotty Hargraves. He says the reason why the can is coloured purple is because when he tastes Simcoe, the hop Simcoe, in a beer.
Simcoe sounds like a car brand.
I think it's a county in Washington, but it's a brand of hops as well. And if you really want to blast the lights out of a beer in terms of putting a lot of hop content into it, get Simcoe beer in. Yeah.
Right.
So thank you to the folks in the state of Queensland for returning the Morrison government last
You've
Saturday.
made his week. Yeah, probably his year actually. He was so depressed he feared he would be deported by Labour officials.
That's right. I had my bags all packed. I had my King James Bible and my other books ready to be hauled off to Manus Island, which I presume would be a re-education facility for us conservatives. But I'm still here, ready to enjoy the next 3 years before we can even think about recession. Good luck, investors, and have a great week.
Cheers.